Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. It has been a minute since I have filmed and posted a Shop My Stash video. I actually filmed one, I think 2 weeks ago, but then I can't remember if, oh yeah, I was missing part of the footage, so I decided to just whatever and use the products, but I'm not going to refilm that. We're just essentially starting over. So these are from the pics that I would have had during that video. These were the pics I was using the last week of summer, so like the last week of August and this first week of September. I am posting this video on Wednesday, which normally I post my Shop My Stash videos on Sunday. I will begin posting them on Sunday again, but I'm just getting myself back on track with this video. So if you like Shop My Stash videos, I hope that you will continue watching. This is also going to look a little bit different. I've been playing around with how I film my Shop My Stash videos, and we're going back to where I just show you the drawer. This is going to look a little bit different because my filming space, as well as the space that I get ready, has changed. So I actually have a physical makeup drawer now, which I'm pretty excited about, and this is where we are going to be starting each video. So I'll go through each of the products with you that I've been using, let you know my thoughts on them, and then we'll go shop my stash for the next couple weeks. I'm going to try to get back on track with doing every 2 weeks for my Shop My Stash. So right back here is this bucket of any product that is currently going in a project pan. I'm not going to go through these products with you guys. If you want to see my project pan videos, they will be linked below, or you can just search for my project pan videos. So then starting right here, we have the two primers that I've been focused on. I actually had mostly been focused on my Becca Backlight priming filter, but if you saw my recent makeup rehab video, then you'll know I finished that off, which is super exciting. So now I've been working on the No Problem primer, which I really have been enjoying from Touch in Sol, but I've gotten a ton of use out of this, so I'm going to put this away for now. And then I also pulled this Amazing Cosmetics primer. This is, I think, one of the oldest primers in my collection now. I don't even know if you can get this anymore, but I would not repurchase if you could. This is in the shade Rose. I've only used this a couple of times, and I do want to, this is basically going to turn into a primer that I'm unofficially trying to pan. So I'm going to keep this in. Sorry if my voice sounds a bit raspy too. It is 6 in the morning and I got 4 hours of sleep last night. Okay, I've been using the heck out of the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer, the illuminating one. I purchased this and then they recently repackaged, so I must have gotten like one of the last ones of these, but I really do like this, especially for work. But if you caught my recent Sephora VIB sale haul, then you'll know I recently hauled 5 new foundations. So I need to put this away and I need to be testing those new foundations that I purchased. My Maybelline Matte and Fit Me foundation I used a couple of times. This is a repurchase for me. I've bought 2 or 3 bottles of this and I do like this foundation. Not sure I would purchase this one like a 3rd or 4th time, but I did get some use out of it, so I'm going to put it away for a while. This is my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, not foundation. I don't even know what you call this, but I am going to keep this. I'm just going to tuck this back here because this is going to be like one that I just permanently have in my drawer. And then my Dior Forever Skin Glow, I did get some use out of this the last week of summer. It is a beautiful foundation. This is one that I will always want to have in my collection. This is more of my summer shade though. I am suddenly ghostly pale now that it is September. I feel like I need to continue to self tan because I am so pale. Anyway, this will not even match me right now, so I don't even know if I could mix this with enough light foundation that I could make this match me. So I'm gonna put this away. Over here we have this little mini Drunk Elephant De-Bronzy Anti-Pollution Serum, which I've been mixing with that Laura Mercier foundation to match me, and I really like this product. I'm just gonna keep this in. This is almost gone, so I'm just gonna keep this in this drawer until I finish it. I have this brow product from the Brow Gal. It's the Instant Brow Hair in the shade 2. I like to always have one fiber brow going just on days that I want just a fiber brow and don't want to actually do my brows, so I will keep this in. I recently picked up from ColourPop one of their lippy balms, and I've got to say, you guys, I've really been enjoying this. It's not like their Juicy Lips, well, Actually, I've never tried their Juicy Lips, so I can't say for certain, but I don't believe it is the same formula or even close to the same as their Juicy Lip Gloss. It truly does remind me of the Kopari Lip Balm. It's super, super hydrating, but at a lesser cost. I got this in the scent Bellini, so I've been really enjoying this. I always like to have a lip balm in my drawer, so this has been my lip balm, and I will just continue to use this one. And then I always have my Fenty Beauty Match Stick in the shade Amber. This is my nose contouring stick, so this always is here. Let's see, I have this Laura Mercier Caviar Stick. I've barely used this. This has been going for so long. I'm going to try and get some use out of this, so I'm going to keep this in, and I'm maybe going to put it right here to remind me to use it. And then I also have this Burberry little Fresh Glow sample. I actually really love the Burberry Fresh Glow. It is stunning and beautiful. I don't know if it's technically considered a primer. It's just a luminous base. If this was available at Sephora, which I don't believe it is anymore, I would definitely purchase this in a full size, but I believe you can only get this on the Burberry website, and not gonna pay full price on the Burberry website for it. Okay, coming over here, we have, I always have so many bronzers going at a time. So first we have the Natasha Denona Mini Bronze and Glow, which I did get some good use out of. This is also more of like a red toned bronzer, so it really makes you look sun-kissed, and it's fall now, in my opinion, so it's time for this to go away. I also got a ton of use out of the Tarte Park Avenue Princess bronzer. I really do like this bronzer. I just have a mini size, but since I got so much use out of it, and I did just recently pick up a new bronzer, I am going to put this one away. I had my Kevyn Aucoin sculpting powder in here. I have mine in the, I think, first shade. Yep. I have mine in the shade Light. I don't even know if I used this one time. I feel like this always happens when I put in a sculpting powder, so I'm going to keep this in rotation. Then I had my ABH bronzer in the shade Tawny. This is the second lightest shade, and again, the ABH bronzers are very red toned, so they make you look super sun-kissed, but I'm ready to put this away. I didn't get a ton of use out of this. This is also a little bit too dark for me unless I am self-tanned, which I am not right now, so this will not work for me. And then for my pressed setting powder, I have been using the Essence All About Matte Fixing Compact Powder, which I'm just going to keep using for the time being. And then back here, I want to mention too, so I have the Essence Sun Club Matte Bronzing Powder. This I've had going in rotation for so long and just have not felt the need to reach for this, or have not wanted to reach for this. So I'm just going to go ahead and declutter, because that tells me I don't need this in my collection. And then I had also been using, or I had pulled the NYX Honey Do Me Up Primer back out. And I don't know if my formula has changed or my mind has just changed, but this really doesn't do a whole heck of a lot for my skin anymore, and I don't feel myself wanting to reach for this either, so I'm going to declutter this as well. Okay, we also have a ton of blush. Oops, this is a Project Pan blush. Okay, I got a ton of use out of this Natasha Denona blush, specifically this side. If I ended up going too heavy-handed with this side, I would just layer it with this side, because obviously this is just like a really nude peachy sort of blush. Like, it doesn't even show up as anything, but I really loved this side, especially for like the last week of summer. And this is when I had pulled even the rotation before that. It just gives like a really beautiful sun-kissed glow to the skin. It's a nice glowy sort of satin blush, and I got some really great use out of this, which I'm excited for, because this used to be a favorite and then I hadn't reached for this at all this year. So I'm really happy that I pulled this in and was able to get such great use out of it. But because of that, I am going to put this away. Then we had Becca Flower Child, which I wanted to pull back out one last time for the last week of summer. This is one that I still feel like I could get away with even in like the fall time, but I have gotten some use out of this throughout the course of the summer, so I'm going to put this away so I can rotate in some blush that hasn't gotten as much love. I also got a ton of use out of my Buxom Wonderlust blush. This is my favorite blush. It's just a beautiful nude blush, and I love it so much. There it is swatched right there. I don't know if you'll be able to see. It's just like a bronzy nude blush, but because I've used this again so much, I'm going to rotate this out so I can get use out of something that hasn't been getting love. So this has been going in rotation all summer. This is the MAC Extra Dimension blush in the shade Fairly Precious. And swatched, you can see it looks pretty much like a highlight. I used it as a blush topper and I really enjoyed this summer, but this is more of a spring summer product, so this is going to go away for quite a while now. Back here I had the Charlotte Tilbury Glowgasm Beauty Light Wand High Blush. I actually have been using this quite a bit this last week. I've been doing pretty neutral looks for work and using this, and it just gives a nice little glow to the cheeks. I have gotten some good use out of this and I think I'm ready to put this away. I also have my Jouer Blush Duo in Adore, and I am going to keep this going because I only used this one time. This looks like a beautiful blush compact, or like blush colors for the kind of transition into the fall. I really do like this formula. I really like the Jouer blushes, so I'm very excited to keep this in for another rotation. Okay, and then for highlights, these have been going all summer long. These are the Artist Couture Summer Haze. Like, this is the Summer Haze Loose Powder, which I really loved again for the summer. It's a very, very, very glowy highlight, and it definitely does have micro glitter in it, but I really did enjoy this. I've used this quite a bit throughout the summer, and I just don't feel like this is fall/winter appropriate, at least not this shade, so I am going to put this away. I had my Super Shock Cheek highlighter from ColourPop Pulled in the shade Lunch Money. I really like using this to set my Milk lipstick, and this is basically like my gym highlight combo. So I think I'm just gonna keep both of these like permanently in rotation, and I'll just keep them tucked towards the back, because anytime that I'm going to the gym, even if I'm not wearing like really any makeup at all, I will wear this highlight combo because I like to look like I'm already sweating when I walk in the gym. So this will be a permanent keep. I've gotten a ton of use out of this little mini highlight throughout all of this year, but even this last rotation. This is the Becca highlighter in the shade Rose Quartz. Sorry if you can hear the traffic outside. This was another really, really pretty one for the summertime, but just because it was more of a pink toned highlight, and I like that it gave, again, a sun-kissed glow to the cheeks. But because I've used this so much, I'm gonna put this away. I'm not sure I reached for this. If I did, it was only one time. This is the Wet n Wild highlight in the shade Blossom Glow. This is another really pretty pink highlight, but because I didn't reach for this one, I will keep this another rotation. I had my Persona Cosmetics Zuma highlighter, which I really, really, really do love, but this is going to be a little bit too dark for me at the time being, with, again, how pale I am. I did get some great use out of this summer. This is a highlight that I love and truly would recommend, but time for me to put this away probably for quite a while. And then finally I had my NARS highlighter pulled in the shade Fort de France, which I got a bunch of use out of this past week, which I got a ton of use out of the last couple weeks as well. This one, I think, yeah, I could still get this one to work for me, actually, even being so fair. But I did get some good use out of this, so I will put this away for a little bit. But this is one that I could see myself pulling back out in the near future, just because I do love that this one is, you can have it be more of a subtle highlight, or you can build it up to be an intense highlight, and it's just super beautiful. It's more of like that wet looking highlight. It looks like it melts into the skin, and I really do enjoy the NARS highlighting formula. Back here we have all of my concealers. So I've had the Too Faced Born This Way multi-use sculpting concealer going for a couple rotations. I did get some good use out of this last rotation, so I'm ready to put this back. I've also gotten some good use out of my Smashbox Studio Skin Flawless Concealer. This is way more liquidy than I remember. I remember that it wasn't my favorite concealer, but using this, I'm like, I didn't realize how liquidy it was. Still not my favorite concealer, but I don't dislike it enough to declutter it, at least not yet. But I am ready to put this back and choose a new concealer. Here is the Laura Mercier Ultra Longwear Concealer, and I really love this concealer, you guys. This is a perfect one for me for work, where I'm not looking for a super opaque, super full coverage concealer. I just want something like medium coverage that's going to brighten underneath my eyes a little bit but not look so makeup-y. So even though I've gotten such great use out of this basically since I purchased this, I still want to keep this one going. And then I also had my Josie Maran Vibrancy concealer, which I did not get much use out of. I maybe used this one time, but this one is one that's, again, very liquidy, and if you don't set this one, and even when you do set this one, it can tend to crease up on you more so than some of my other concealers, so it's just a little bit more finicky. I don't dislike this concealer, and I actually really do like this shade for me. I have the shade Fair. I think I'm going to keep this going for one more rotation. I have this Kaja, like, tri-stack, I don't know what they call these, and I've had this for probably 6 months now and still haven't tried this. It looks beautiful and it's swatched beautiful in store, but I just haven't tried it yet, so I really need to give this a go. This is more like fall colors now, since it's more of like a mauve pink, so I feel like I should be able to get some use out of this. And then I also have this little Dose of Colors single, which I've also had kind of just sitting with my makeup for a while. This is in the shade Shall We Dance. This is one of the Block Party shimmers, and I ended up picking this up from BoxyCharm. I redeemed some of my points and basically got this for free. I also have the shade Leave Me Alone, which is a really dark, like, black green that I never reach for either, but I figured this one would be a little bit more wearable, and yet I still never reach for it. And I also am working on my Urban Decay, I think Chopper, which is pretty similar. Chopper is a little bit darker, but I think I'm gonna put this single away. Even though I haven't really used it, I'm gonna put this away for a little bit, and maybe when I finish my Graveyard Project pan, I will pull this out for the end of the year. Just a couple more products left. This is my Milk Bronzing Stick in the shade Baked. I'm gonna put this away and I'm gonna pull my Ulta Beauty Contour Stick because that is older in my collection and that has less product, so I want to see if I can use that up, and then I will pull this back out as my cream bronzer option. For my loose powder, I've been using the RCMA No Color Powder. I've used a ton of this and I forgot how much that I really do like this. This is a really good powder option, but I just recently picked up the Milk Blur powder and I want to test that out, so I'm going to put this away. And then my mascaras. You guys know I always have a ton of mascaras going in any given time. So I have the Wander Beauty Mile High Club, which I'm keeping. I always keep my mascaras in permanent rotation until basically I use them for 4 months. I have the Benefit They're Real Tinted Primer as well as the mascara, which I'm keeping. The Milk Kush Mascara in the Waterproof, which is staying. I recently opened up the Smashbox Full Exposure Mascara, so this will stay. And then I'm really sad to say that it is time for me to put this in my empties bin. This is the Marc Jacobs Nior Mascara, and I really enjoyed using this, but this has been open for 4 or 5 months at this time, and I've used it so much that I have to dip my wand in so many times to end up getting enough product on both eyelashes that, like both sets of eyelashes, that it's time to let go of this. Okay, you guys, we actually got rid of quite a bit, so now we're gonna go shop my stash and fill my drawer back up. Again, a new setup. So right here we have my primers on this side as well as my foundations on this side, and I'm gonna try and keep the ones that I have used like the least recently up front. My friend Emily McKinnis does this, and I like the way that she does that because I feel like it'll help me like remember or help me cycle a little bit better. So it's been a really long time since I've used my number 7 Stay Perfect foundation, and I am going to pull this in, but because I have so many new foundations to be testing, I'm only going to pull in one foundation. And then I also have some new primers to work on. I don't have a mattifying primer. I don't know about the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, but I am going to pull the First Aid Beauty Pores Be Gone Matte Primer to use to test with some of the new foundations that I just purchased. So I'll pull this and then we'll call it good for primer and foundation. Okay, moving into my powder and concealer drawer, I don't need a loose setting powder because in my nude drawer, I'm going to be pulling the Milk Blur, and then I don't need a pressed setting powder either because I kept one in. So I do need a new concealer, at least one. And I think I'm going to pull the NYX HD Studio Concealer. This is one of the older concealers in my collection, so I want to make sure I'm getting some use out of this and starting to try to use this up so that this does not go bad. Okay, so then into my bronzer drawer, I just picked up the new Lawless bronzer, so I know I'm going to be reaching for that. It's been a while since I've reached for this number 7 bronzer. I have mine in the shade Golden Sand, and I feel like this will be a good shade match for me right now because it is pretty light, so I'll pull this out. Then I also said I was going to grab my Ulta face sculpting stick in the shade Contour, so I will also be pulling this. Okay, in my blush drawer. Blush is going to be a tough one. Let's see. Ooh, I know I want to pull my Cover FX blush duo in Soft Peach. I also have the shade Warm Honey, which is a little bit darker, but I'm going to pull Soft Peach right now and save Warm Honey for when it gets a little bit more into like the depths of fall time. Because I did put away my Charlotte Tilbury cream or liquid blush, I also want to reach for a new liquid blush, so I'm going to grab for my Flower Beauty Blush Balm in the shade Pinched. And then I want to pick one more blush. I think I'm going to go with MAC Melba. This is just a really pretty nice neutral blush that I feel like is going to be really, really beautiful for this time of year. Okay, moving into my highlight drawer. This top drawer has all of like my pink toned highlights, and I know I want to reach for this mini Bobbi Brown in the shade Pink Glow. There it is right there. I don't know if you'll be able to see. I love this highlighter. I think it is stunning. I've been wanting to reach for this for a while now, but I just didn't feel like the shade was right for the summertime, but I think it's perfect for me right now for the fall. So I'm going to pull that. And then I recently picked up the Cookie highlighter, so I think I'll grab that. So we'll call it good for this drawer. In this drawer, we have all of my like champagne slash like yellowy highlights. Not yellow, but you know what I mean. I think actually I'm going to pull Becca Vanilla Quartz. This isn't my favorite, but I hear so many people rave about this, so I'm going to give this another try and see if I like it. Then in this drawer we have all of my single shadows, which I never end up using. You know what I am going to reach for? I've tried to declutter this a million times and just can never get myself to do it, and I don't know why. This is like a Bobbi Brown, I don't even know what you call this, her metallic longwear cream shadow, and this is in the shade Golden Stone, which is it's really pretty, but it looks really weird on my eyes always. So I'm going to try this one more time, and if I don't like it, I'm going to declutter. I'm really proud of myself for decluttering a couple of products. This shot my stash and want to see if I can keep going with that. So then the next drawer down is my mascara and brows, which I know I'm not going to be pulling any more brows, but I do want to pull one last mascara, just something that is going to have a lot of volume, because that Newer mascara gave me so much volume. I already know I love the L'Oreal Voluminous Carbon Black, and this mascara will last me a good 4 months through the rest of the year, so I am going to pull this as my mascara option. Okay, I just decided to lay my new drawer stuff right on top here. There's a few items that you guys won't see because these were pickups at the very, very beginning of September, way in the back. I forgot that I picked up the e.l.f. 16-hour Camo Concealer. I will pull this in, and then I will pull in both my e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer as well as my Kaja, I don't even know what they call this, but it's like the mousse primer. I'm going to pull both of these in. I also told you guys I for sure was going to be pulling my Benefit Cookie Highlighter, which looks stunning, and my Lawless Bronzer. Really excited to try this out. My Milk Blur Powder. I also forgot I got this Becca one in BoxyCharm. I'll have to pull this next month. And then I also have this Milk, I'm just going to pull this too. This is the Milk powder version of Lit, which this formula feels so amazing, you guys. That looks, As for foundation, I'm just going to be simultaneously testing out the 5 new foundations that I got. So I'm going to keep them in my new drawer and I can just cycle through them that way. So those are just going to stay in this drawer. I also forgot to mention I had been focusing on the NARS Hot Nights face palette the last rotation, but I didn't get any use out of it really, maybe 2 times. I've gotten some use out of this summer, but I'm going to try and reach for this for 1 more rotation just to get some use out of it. It's not my favorite palette ever, but whatever. And then I had pulled my Moonchild highlighting palette the last rotation. I always like to have 1 ABH glow kit going at a time. I didn't get any use out of this, so I'm going to keep this in. I'm going to put away my Kokie Powder Contour palette, and instead I'm going to replace it for a different face palette in my collection, and I'm going to reach for this Lorac blush and highlight palette that I got last year, which I love all of these shades in here specifically for this time of year. And then you also are left with 2 highlighting shades, so I'll have a ton to work with throughout all of my face palette. Okay, you guys, and then to finish it off, normally we don't go into my lip collection. Each rotation I'm going to choose 4 lip products that I want to try and use that month or that rotation, and then any other lip products that I use I will just pull into my drawer and share with you every update. That's what I've decided I'm going to do for my updates. So I know I really want to get some use out of this Stila lipstick in the shade Emma. It's just a really beautiful like peachy pink shade. In my lip gloss drawer, I want to pull 1 gloss at least. I'm going to go for the NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Madeline. I think this will be a really good one for the fall. Up top, we have my first liquid lipstick drawer, and I think in here I'm going to reach for Persona OG. And then in my last or second liquid lipstick drawer, shoot, what do I want to reach for in here? Let's see. Do we want to do, maybe we want to do like a vampy red lip. I'm going to reach for NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in the shade Madrid, and we will call it good on lips. Alright, you guys, and after that, my drawer is filled up yet again. If you guys are new to my channel and don't know, I do a palette roulette as well as some different as well as the Pan Those Eyeshadows project. So I don't shop my stash for my palettes. That is all part of my project roulette, or yeah, palette roulette video. I am late to filming my September round for that, but that video is coming in case you want to see the palettes that I will be focused on throughout the month of September, as well as the palettes that I was using in the month of August. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to watch this Shop My Stash video. I hope you have a phenomenal rest of your day, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. Bye.